0, 1. Let's get started.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host Andreas. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon. It'll be probably evening by the time this gets posted on YouTube. Today we've got some popular opinions which I wanted to touch base on. I've seen them on other videos. I've seen them on Collingwood Facebook groups, and there's one question that's been popped up here and there which I've sort of kept in the bank, but I thought, why not? Let's talk about it. And yeah, so I've got a few of that, and then we've got some player focus stuff which I'm going to talk about over the next few videos, and one being a certain captain in particular of the Collingwood Football Club we're going to focus on in parts of this video. And then I'm just going to put it out there because I want people's opinion on it, and everyone just drop stuff in the comments so we can have a discussion about it, which is awesome. But who is the greatest pie of all time? So let's just get straight to it. So there's two popular, unpopular opinion questions which I'm going to bring up now. Now, I'll do the one that's not so controversial first, but I want people's opinion on this. This is the question I'm posing to the Collingwood supporters out there. Mason Cox is not in our best 23. That's the question. That's not my opinion. That's the popular opinion, though, that I'm hearing and reading from people. Mason Cox is not in our best 23. Now it's my opinion. Based on ability, he's probably not. Based on role structure and the gaps that he can fill within our team, yes, he is in. He may, and I've said this in so many videos, especially when I also did the recap of the Copeland Trophy for last season. Darcy Cameron becomes a better ruckman when Mason Cox is in our team. So for all the opinions about he's not in our best 23, blah blah blah, Membry will probably get his spot. I can personally see Myercheck, Membry, Jamie Elliott, McStay, Bobby Hill, Schultz, and Cox potentially all in the same team. I don't see how we can't make it work. I don't see how we can't have the 3Ms, McStay, Membry, Myercheck, and Cox playing with a Darcy Cameron as well. I can see it working and giving teams massive headaches, because how long have we been crying for a tall marking option in the forward line? As a tap ruckman, I think Mason Cox is probably one of the best in the competition. Around the ground ability, Darcy Cameron's probably, or he is a lot better. But for those saying that he's not in our best 23, just remember, and I will say this in video after video if I have to, when Mason Cox was injured in 2023, we were going through a bit of a struggle period at the start. When he came back and when Darcy Cameron was playing proper, he had that, I think Cameron had that knee injury and Cox had the sternum injury or something like that. When they both came back playing, we won a premiership. So there's no argument there. Mason Cox is in my best 23 every day of the week. Okay, so this next opinion is controversial. And it's been said a few times. I've seen it on some social media sites. I've seen it on Collingwood pages over the years. And I'm going to bring this up because I do want to have a discussion about it, and I want to hear people's thoughts, knowing that the generation, the baby boomers, the generation of before me, you're probably going to crack the shits at this. Not so much the younger ones. I'm sort of in between. Here's the question. The anticipation killing you yet? Does the number 42 come out of retirement at Collingwood? Now, I see the argument on both sides here, but I'm leaning towards the no. However, if Collingwood was to come out, like we did with number 35 after the whole Presti thing when he retired, we gave our number one draft pick, so the first draft pick of Collingwood wore number 35 for his first year, and then obviously when Nick Dacos came, we stopped it, which was fine. That's 100%. That tradition went on for like 10 years or so. I think they should, if they do bring it out of retirement one day, I think the number 42, because it's got such a legacy with the Mullane family and the club, and it's been gone for so long, if they were to bring it back, I think out of respect for the family, even though Darren was never the captain of Collingwood, I think the captain of Collingwood should wear that number as a respect, um, as a res- as a respectful gesture to the family. So listen, we want to bring it back, but we're going to bring it back, and this is what's going to happen, and that'll be the legacy now that it leaves moving forward. If not, you don't bring it back. I've seen people say that it's time for it to come back. I've seen more the older demographic of people are saying no, absolutely not. Leave it retired. It's been retired now for this long, and that's probably where I'm sitting now too. If the number has been retired for such a long time, I don't see the point in bringing it back, and that's probably where I'm sitting at the moment. But I'd love to hear opinions of people to see what they would think if that number 42 was to come back out of retirement. It's been, since 1991, 92. Yeah, I don't know. Tell me your thoughts on that. I'd love to know. Okay, greatest pie of all time. You'd have to put it down to two, like in our lifetime that we've seen. So obviously, you got your Gordon Covertrees, your Lou Richards, and the players from those eras and stuff. But of recent times, like for me, from like the late 80s till now, there's only two that stand out, and they're like, you got your favourite players, your match winners, you got your Alan Didaks, your Sav Rockers, Anthony Rocker, you got your cult heroes, which we've spoken about in other videos. But the greatest player ever to play for Collingwood, in my opinion, is Scott Pendlebury. And the argument will come up all the time, and I expect this argument to really, in 12 months' time, let's just say if Scott Pendlebury retires at the end of the season or the end of 2025, regardless of what happens, whether we win the flag, we don't win the flag, we fail to make finals, or he has a crap season, whatever the case is, if he retires at the end of 2025, we are going to hear this debate now rage for the entirety of the off season, on social media, on like videos like this, like content creators, on AFL websites, on Collingwood forums. Who's the greatest pie of all time? You can have your Tony Shaws, your Nathan Buckleys, and your Scott Pendleburys. And Scott Pendlebury, in my opinion, is the greatest Collingwood player of all time. He's got more flags than them, right? He's got a Norm Smith medal, the best and fairest awards, the All Australians, everything that he's done. But I think the two premierships and the way that he's won them with the gap and the longevity, he's by far the greatest Collingwood player of all time. My opinion. Tell me yours, because if I'm missing someone who's up there in that debate, geez, I'd love to hear what you've got to say. So just a player focus, and I'm going to do this on most of my videos now leading in towards the season, just like the last couple of minutes, and we're going to talk about a player in particular. So I'm going to talk about Darcy Moore, the captain of the football club, and what has to change for us in 2025, and in particular for this player. Now, without Murphy playing last season, Darcy Moore got exposed. Any person who follows footy, any person with half a football brain could see that he was being exposed. So when Nathan Murphy was playing for Collingwood, Darcy Moore had the ability to leave his man and run further up the ground a little bit and take an intercept mark, because then Murphy would then go back, and vice versa. He could then hang back, and Murphy could be the one going for the ball. We saw a lot this season. Now, we saw a lot, especially the game against Sydney. It was round one at the MCG when we did the flag unfurling and stuff. he got caught pushing up towards centre half forward from the last line of defence, and the ball just went straight over, and Sydney were running through for open goals. They did that about 4 or 5 times, especially in the second half. Now, you could tell he wanted to leave his opponent and he wanted to just go spoil the ball, take an intercept mark, and he was just going like, and he had that mind frame, which is perfect, but we didn't have the ability to cover his spot. Then you notice at times where he didn't go for the ball and he'd hang back towards the back of the pack and stay on his opponent right in the last line of defence, and the ball would just get contested there. We were outnumbered, or we weren't first to the play, bang, over, goal. All in all, I mean, it happened to us. I'm pretty sure it happened to us. The both Sydney games, it happened to us. It even happened to us against Carlton, and we ended up beating them. So sorry, I had to throw that in there, but you know, we need that cover now down back. Is Danny Houston that cover? Absolutely not. Dan Houston's a total different player. But I would think that someone like a Jacob Ryan, someone even like not really Isaac Quena, but if Markov can break back into the team, it'd be someone like him, someone like Charlie Dean as well. These are the type of players that are going to have to take that role. It's a wait and see. But if we can cover that aspect of Darcy Moore's game and change it, and he can focus on probably staying on his man and adapting his game to know that we don't have the Nathan Murphy in the back line at the moment, then Darcy Moore's going to become a lot better player for Collingwood. I'm going to shut this down straight away. If he has a first 4 or 5 games of the season and he is playing crap, and I would rather drop the captain. All right, this is another unpopular opinion. I'll rather drop the captain, right, put him back in the twos to find a bit of form, than even dream about putting Darcy Moore up forward again. It's just not going to work. He's a defender. He is an elite defender. Probably not last season, but he is, and he needs to play in defence, and we need that cover for him. That's just my personal opinion. Tell me your thoughts. Training's coming back the end of this week, and next week they're full steam ahead. So we're going to get really we're going to dive deep into this stuff right now because the season is back. So get excited. Call it as you see it. Tell me what you think. And as always, K the Pies.